it's Katie here from the Scrappy Sisters, and it is day 3 of 30 Days of Sketches with Christy's Beautiful Life. This is round 14. Today's sketch, which you can see in the top left corner here, is from Vanessa Bell, who is on YouTube. I will leave a link in the description box to her channel. Now, as you can probably already tell with what's on the page, the sketch, look, I don't follow it exactly, but I do a pretty good job. Now, the reason why I didn't follow it more closely is because I had these scrap pieces of paper left. I am using my How to Kill a Kit with Style for the quarter, which is a whole heap of older Cocoa Vanilla Studio collections. This particular collection is Wild at Heart, I'm pretty sure. One of my absolute favourites. I'm down to the absolute bare bones. I think I could maybe manage one more layout. I probably can manage one more layout with this, although they'll be coming at lots of different times of the day for you guys. Days of the month for you guys. So, yes, I had to work with the scraps of paper that I had, and I thought I had initially not gone with this design. I'd gone with that large floral piece of paper and then sort of something else in the background to create more of a vertical line. And then I realised I had this odd triangular type piece of paper in my scraps, and I thought, when am I going to use that? I might as well put it on this page, and I quickly changed my design. Of course, I've run out of ATG tape. It wouldn't be a video of mine unless I was refilling my ATG gun. My sister said to me the other day, why don't you edit this part out? And the reason I don't edit it out is it doesn't take very long. Literally, 30 seconds. But the reason I don't take it out is because I want people to see how easy it is to refill. I think one of the things that people don't love about the ATG is they find it really difficult to refill, and I don't have that problem. I do use it pretty much exclusively as the only kind of tape I use for my scrapbooking, so it does get used a lot, but I guess I just leave it in so people can see that it is easy to refill, and don't let being afraid of refilling it put you off getting one, because they're amazing, if I don't say so myself. So I am creating clusters in the same space as Vanessa had them in her sketch, and my title's going in the same place as Vanessa had it in her sketch. So I think I'm doing a pretty good job of staying fairly true to the sketch, with a little bit of my own interpretation or creative license, I suppose. That's a point of sketches though, isn't it? It's just a place for you to have a jumping off point for your layout. So all these photos are of Lincoln sitting on top of an elephant. If you have been to the Melbourne Zoo before, this location will be very familiar to you. It is as you walking into the Trail of the Elephants, and there's a couple of elephant statues. Everybody always gets their photos taken on them. And these photos, I wouldn't probably normally scrap all the photos of us going to the zoo, but these photos will probably come up again later in this month. But Lincoln had to have a study done, a pH study, to test whether he has reflux, part of his medical condition, which is tracheoesophageal fistula and esophageal atresia, or TOF-OA, or TEF-EA if you live in the United States. Same condition, it's just that we spell esophagus differently. And so anyway, he had to have a pH study, and that involved him having a probe placed through his nose down to just above his tummy, and then it was attached to this like little machiney thing that he had to wear around his neck, and every time he ate or slept or anything like that, we had to push a button so that we could kind of get a read about whether he has reflux, and it would measure the acid coming from his stomach into his esophagus. Anyway, it was not the best 24 hours of our life, not going to lie. He hated the tube being in his nose, and I mean, I absolutely don't blame him. So this picture, we'd gone back to the hospital the next day to have the tube taken out, which takes all of 30 seconds. They literally pull it out. And he was as happy as Larry as soon as that tube had kind of come out, and I just said to him, we're here anyway. The appointment took not even 10 minutes at the hospital, so we were out much quicker than I thought we'd be, and I just said to him, we're around the corner from the zoo, do you want to go for a visit? And he said, yes, he did. So this was us kind of doing a little, I know you've had a crappy 24 hours, but let's go to the zoo and shake it off and have an amazing time. And he was loving reading maps at this point. So he's reading a map of the zoo and choosing where he wanted to go. We have zoo memberships, so we tend to only go to the zoo for kind of a couple of hours at most at a time. And so we usually only see one or two kind of animals and then head back to the car. So he chose the elephants at this trip and something else. Don't remember what it was. Probably the giraffes, because that's what he tends to do. But yeah, it's a nice way to see the zoo when you've got a zoo membership and you can just kind of duck in and out and you don't have to kind of do the whole zoo in one go. So I'm just sticking down my ephemera really. I don't have much of this collection left. Like I'm absolutely down to the bare bones. So I'm adding in, it might look a bit random, but honestly it's all I have left. So I've added in a few of the bits, like there's some ampersands that are going into the clusters, a couple of the wordy bits. So one says bloom and one says grow. There is another one that goes with that says love that you can see on the left hand side there. And I wanted to get it on the page, but honestly I couldn't really put it in the cluster in the top right because it's got that little piece that says this makes me happy. And it just, I don't know, it was too many words in the cluster, I thought. So I left it off. The title, Sweetheart, that's from, I think that's from the Midnight collection actually, from the title ephemera pack. So they have lots of title words or that you can make titles out of. And so, yeah, I don't have very many of those left. So Sweetheart worked, got it on the page. And then, I am adding some thread to each of my clusters. So I rediscovered my just regular old sewing black thread. And I was like, you know what? I really like this look. So I'm going to add it. And I've added it to quite a few pages of late because it's sitting on my scrapbooking desk. And so, yeah, I thought that might add a little bit of interest, bit of texture into the page when I don't have a heap of embellishments. And they're sort of not amazingly cohesive. So, yeah, that's what I'm doing. I added some hearts, which actually I had a whole heap of hearts. I think I've used them, or you might not have seen them on a video yet, but I'm pretty sure I've used a heap of them. So these were cut out, I'm pretty sure, of a cut file that I cut from this collection that obviously had a lot of hearts on it, and I kept the kind of off-cut hearts, and I obviously used the cut file years ago. But I kept the hearts and I didn't want to chuck them, but there wasn't the best pattern paper for kind of reusing the hearts. But you know what? I wasn't throwing them out, so they made it onto the page, but I don't have any more. I've only got those 3. So I've just added those in above my title, and I'm coming in and adding the arrows because, again, I had them, wanted to use them. I'm trimming off the excess of the little film strip, and then I decided, why throw it out? Let's just add it onto the page somewhere. So I do. So I'm going to add it in over here. It doesn't really need it, but you know what? I could have chucked it out, but I thought, no, let's just add it in. So I did. And then I'm pretty much, I add some tiny words. I've got a few tiny word stickers left on the 6x12 cut-apart sheet, 6x12 sticker sheet. So I want to get those on the page. So I'm adding those down, and then I will be finished. So in the description box down below, obviously there will be a link to Vanessa, whose sketch this is for today, but I'll also have a link to the playlist for 30 days of sketches so you can follow along. There's also a Facebook page. If you love sketches, you definitely want to join this Facebook page because all the sketches from the previous 14 rounds are there. So thank you guys so much for watching. Check out tomorrow when we'll be back, and we'll see you the next time. Bye.